how does this transactional nature change the way that we look at employee retention and change the way that employees look at their jobs? I'm going to come to you first, Karen, and make you go for a minute, and then I'm going to pull you out, and then we'll go to Harrison and end with Jessica. Rapid. Woohoo.
Yeah, okay, let me do it as quickly as I can. Then, like, transactional nature, sign yourself up for a transactional job. Don't pick your employer, go and do anything, and then just want money. Yeah, welcome, you've got a transactional job. And then you can blame the employer for the next 20 years, how awful they were because you didn't do your homework. There is a balance in life. Employers, I think, had too much power in the past. You come into work every day. Why? We ultimately don't trust you. Technology has killed distance. It has made absolutely everything possible. So all those things should be done and anybody can work from home. But please do not underestimate the difficulties of putting that culture in place. Please do not underestimate the glue that comes from being in a caring team with a manager and employer who actually cares about you and actually wants the best for you in your career. And if that's work from home, fantastic. But you will miss out on things, particularly the culture, the team elements, the innovation, the cooler chats, the growth, and everything else that you will get being in an office. I'm not an advocate for being in the office all the time. There's some balance, but boy, do I feel sorry for employers these days when they're paying for offices 7 days a week for you to come in 1 and 2 days. All that's going to result in is probably condensed office space, no desks that you will have of your own. And if your colleagues or employees aren't in the same day, do you really have a team around you? Find something that makes you happy. Please go for it. And as an employer, bust your gut to make people happy. But as an employee, it ain't an employer's job to do absolutely everything for you at the same time.
All right, Harrison, let's get your thoughts. Rapid fire.
Good. Yeah, so I agree with Kieran. I think there needs to be a bit of a balance. I think work is definitely becoming more transactional, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think people can love what they do and they can move on, and if they're good at it and they enjoy the organization that they're working with, whether they're in the office or not and they're working completely remotely, I think if there's a good understanding from both sides, I think it can work out. And I think if a company has the right hiring strategy and realizes that there will be churn and that the average tenure is 2 to 3 years, then they'll be prepared for when people do move on. And if they stay on longer than that, then they'll be pleasantly surprised. But I think if they have all those elements in place, I think they'll enable themselves to ensure that they have the right people in the business all the time. And if the people are there and they initially went in for a transactional role and said, oh no, I'm going to stay here for 2 years, and actually end up liking it and staying there longer, and the company's treated them right and done all the things that they said they can do, then I think they will, they'll stay. And I think, the transactional piece might, I guess it might come out of people's minds. I think when people go into those roles thinking that it's going to be transactional, I think they might be quite surprised if the organizations can keep up their end of the bargain and actually offer a lot of support and benefits and, work it in a sort of two-way street type manner, rather than just the employee going in and wanting everything and then just leaving and moving on to the next thing. So I don't think it's sustainable necessarily, but I think it can work from time to time.
All right, and Jessica, go ahead and round us up for the day with your thoughts on the idea.
Oh man, I have so much to say for 1 minute. I think there's so many ways to split this coin. I mean, obviously, the more flexible that you can be, the better that you kind of set yourself up to kind of catch everyone. The fact is, you're not going to. It's impossible to please everyone. It was impossible to please everyone. Before, when we were going into offices, you may have had cold brew on tap, but they wanted hot drip coffee. Everyone will always find something that they're not over the moon happy with. I think of allowing flexibility, I think looking even beyond just remote work and really looking at what opportunity do I give my team? How often am I checking in? Can we do offsites? Can we have employee collaboration days where we, bring people together in a meaningful way? And, maybe we're doing, cheesy virtual happy hours that everyone got sick of in the pandemic, but maybe we're bringing it back with a cool game to give some of that camaraderie. I think, too often before it was said, we're a family, when really we're coworkers. Maybe a controversial statement, but I do think that, we need to look at it as there is a bit of transactional nature involved. I think that that's increased a little bit, but realistically, I think if you're meeting those things that candidates and employees are looking for, which is flexibility, it is having elements of camaraderie, it is having a roadmap of how am I going to get to a position that I want to get to? Do I have opportunity for growth in this company? How can I take my career to the next level? Is there training? Is there ongoing education? I think those are tangible things that companies can provide that have nothing to do with working remotely or not remotely. So I think that can really go a long way for retention.